So, if you have ever used exercise as a form of punishment, raise his hand. Or if you're struggling to sustain healthy eating this summer, then this live conversation is going to be just for you, because it's for me too. All right, so I had a totally different topic planned for today, and then last week I did a little question sticker on one of my stories, and I said, ask me anything. And I got tons of questions through doing that, but a lot of them had to do with what is your exact routine for working out and for eating. So I did answer it in the stories, but then I started getting questions over in the Get Your Pretty On community, and I was trying to send them back to the stories, and I didn't highlight them. So anyway, I figured I'm gonna just do it. I'm gonna do a live today, and I'm gonna spill the beans and share all the stuff and let you guys know exactly what I'm doing right now, what's changed recently, and what I'm doing to kind of stay motivated in the summer months. So I do want to let you know that I'm not an expert on any of this, and there are plenty of experts out there. So I'm going to share with you what works for me, but it may not necessarily work for you, because I feel like this has been a trial and error thing, that through the years, certain things work and certain things don't. And then things that used to work don't work anymore. It's like, oh, you turned 40, so that thing you used to do, yeah, that's not going to work anymore. So this has been something that has been an ongoing evolution and a journey for me, just like anything else. And I'm excited to share with you some new stuff that I'm learning, because I feel like health and wellness and fitness is about so much more than just our bodies. It's really about our minds, and we got to get our minds right first. Otherwise, none of this is going to matter. So we're going to start off with some mindset. And I really believe that anytime you want to make a change, or you want to start some kind of a new routine, the thing that you need to do to ensure your success is look at your deeper why. What is your why behind this? If you want to switch to a healthy eating plan, or you want to knock off a few pounds, or whatever you're embarking upon, you first have to get to that deeper why. And the why on the surface is not the one that's going to get you there. You've got to keep digging. So let's just use an example of this, that you say, I want to lose X amount of pounds this summer. Why? Because I want to be able to go to the pool. What's the deeper why? Why do you want to go to the pool? Because I want to be able to take my kids and entertain them, and I want them to have fun. What's the deeper why behind that? Because I want to make memories with my kids, and I want them to see me being confident and playful and having the confidence to be able to do that with them. So maybe that's your deeper why. If you keep digging, you're going to find the why that's going to give you all the feels. So Shannon says her why is to live to 100 healthy so she can hold her grandbabies. Oh yes, Shannon. I am with you on that one. I love it. That is an excellent why. And when you think about your fitness and your health in terms of longevity, in terms of what it's going to do for your day-to-day lifestyle, how you're going to feel on a daily basis, what is your quality of life? That's really what it boils down to. And that's what I want you to take away from this more than anything else, is that taking care of our bodies and our minds is really contributing to our quality of life and the lives of the people that we impact in our sphere of influence. So let's start there. We're going to start with step one, and that is mindset. You've got to dig to the deeper why. So for me, this starts in the morning. I have to do my healthy mind stuff first thing in the morning. That's when I have time scheduled. You've probably heard me talk about this before, but I have a power hour that I use every single morning, that I plan out my day, and I'm not just like waking up, rolling out of bed and diving into my day. No, I have this time to step back, and it doesn't have to be a full hour for you. It can be 30 minutes, it can be 15 minutes. You don't have to do it in the morning. You can do it at night. You can do it whenever you have spare time. But this is really your time to set your intentions for the day. It's also the time that I use to write out my schedule. I keep daily schedules, and I do hourly things in here. And working out is always in my hourly routines. Meditation is always in my hourly routines. So you've got to make this a priority. Schedule it in your calendar just like you would any other appointment. This is an appointment for you, for yourself, for your self-care, and you've got to make it a priority. So step one is your mindset. You got to determine your why. Then you're going to need to make a plan of action. So that's going to be your step 2. Again, for me, this starts in the morning. I do my meditation, I do my journaling, and I feel like this is all part of my health routine, because that meditation and journaling time is just as nourishing for me and my body and my mind and my health as it is for me to eat healthy foods or to exercise and move my body. So that's the first thing I start with. Again, if you missed it at the beginning, I want to preface this by saying this is what works for me. You've got to find the routine that works for you. I like things simplified. I love routines. I live and die by routines. Every single day of my life is planned out, and I love it that way. Maybe some people say I need more spontaneity. My husband, who's an Enneagram 7, but that's okay. I have fun too. I just schedule fun. It's not always spontaneous, but anyway. Can you relate to this? I hope so. I hope there's some other Enneagram types out there like me that can, but finding your deeper why really just is the thing that is going to keep you going whenever the going gets tough. I'm also not an all or nothing person. So while I say I do live and die by routines and schedules, I allow myself to have indulgences. I exercise. I try to eat healthy, but I eat Mexican food twice a week, every single week. I drink a glass of wine at least one time a week. There are spaces in my routine for having these things, so I don't feel deprived. I don't think you should have to completely deprive yourself, because that's just not going to lead to success. You're going to get frustrated and you're not going to want to do it. So you've got to allow that too. I mentioned earlier that if you're over 40, and maybe if you're not over 40 and you're experiencing weight gain, or things that used to work for you are no longer working, then this is probably a sign that you need to go get some labs done, if I'm being totally honest with you. I was to that point where I've had some health issues over the past 2 years that I've talked about. I was on some medication for autoimmune issues, and that medication made me gain 15 pounds. And when I went off, I thought, oh yeah, the weight's just going to fall off. Well, it didn't. So I had to start working with my doctor. I started, working with a functional medicine provider to look deeper into my labs to tell me, what's going on, to give me a better all over 360 view of everything in my health. And what I discovered was that I had some suboptimal thyroid numbers and suboptimal hormone numbers. So those two things can be really, really sneaky. And I will say this isn't the case with every doctor, but I'm going to throw it out there because I want to plant the seed for you that sometimes the labs that your doctor runs, so maybe you're going in for your yearly pap test and you're getting labs done then, and your hormone levels might be coming back normal, that doesn't mean you can't be feeling symptoms. You can have subclinical numbers that aren't showing up on there that your doctor may not see as a red flag, but you could still feel kind of crappy. So dig deeper. And don't always trust everything. Trust your body. This is what is not going to lie to you. Your gut is never going to lie to you. And if it's telling you something's off, something's wrong, our bodies are beautifully designed and wonderfully made, and God designed us this way that they tell us when something is wrong. So even if the blood work isn't showing it, there could still be something wrong. Keep digging for answers and keep looking for solutions. So I did discover that my thyroid numbers are teeny bit off. Probably not enough to treat. My doctor's not going to start me on thyroid medication, which is fine with me. I don't want to be on it anyway. But my hormone levels were definitely off. I have done bioidentical hormone replacement therapy for the past, 7 years or so, and it has been life-changing. But it's something that has to be tweaked from time to time. It's not it's one of those other things that you've just got to keep an eye on and keep checking up on. What might work for you for a while might stop working for you, and you've got to keep trying things out. I switched to creams within the past few months, and I just had my blood work done last week, and the creams aren't really working that well for me. So I'm going to go back to pellets again. But I feel like, this is another clue to what I need to be doing for my body, and that is making sure that my hormones are all balanced out and at a good level. So I've had a lot of friends come to me lately who are in their early to mid 30s saying, I'm starting to experience some of these symptoms, and my doctor told me I'm crazy and she's not even going to run labs, or he's just like, whatever, you're only 35, you're still fine. No, you're not. Don't take that for an answer. Insist upon it. Your doctor and you should be working together as a team to find solutions. And if they're telling you, no, 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 you're crazy, this can't be right, trust your body, trust your instincts, and find a different doctor who's going to work with you, because maybe that's not the right fit for you. You've got to advocate for your health, and it's the most important thing. It is the greatest gift that you're ever going to have. And if I've learned anything during my health nightmare that I went through for almost 2 years, it is that I have to keep advocating and keep pushing for answers. So, all right, I promise you I am going to get to the point where I tell you my exact routine. So here we go. Number one, I changed how I eat recently. So I had been doing, a pretty balanced diet with carbs and proteins and fats, probably eating a little more than I should have. Those 15 pounds weren't really coming off. That I gained from the medication. I went to discover what was going on with my hormones. We're making some changes and tweaks with that. But in the meantime, I realized that I probably needed to change something up with my diet too, because let's face it, it was a little bit off the rails. I'm not gonna lie. I think the pandemic did that to everyone. Like, the only things that I looked forward to on a daily basis were, what are we eating next? Like, what's our next meal? And then my daughter Aubrey loves to bake, so we had homemade bread and cookies and everything, you name it, and I ate all of it, and I enjoyed every single bite of it. But I realized that it was time to hit the reset button, and just hitting the reset button to say, oh, I'm going to count my calories, or I'm going to do this or that, or these small changes. I even tried to do some intermittent fasting, and I wasn't really seeing results. So I did keto. And I know I'm not a big proponent of fad dieting, but I knew in the past that I had done low carb, and it worked really, really well with my body chemistry, because that's the way I'm designed. I'm not a big sweets person. I don't crave sweets a lot. And when I do eat carbs in the morning, especially, I feel like my blood sugar spikes, and then starving an hour later. I have to eat a lot of protein. And I know that about myself, but I just was not honoring that part of my body. Laura, yes, check out Medical Medium, life-changing for me. I'm 47, change of life. He has a natural approach to heal with food. I love Anthony. I love the Medical Medium. He was such an integral part of my healing journey this past year, and just really implementing so many of the things that he recommends, the anti-inflammatory stuff. Thank you for mentioning that. I totally agree. Follow him on Instagram. He's great. Dr. Will Cole is also great to follow, and Dr. Mark Hyman, Hyman. Follow all of them. They are amazing. Especially if you're on a journey with, trying to find the right foods that are going to feed our bodies and make us feel like $1 million, because really that's what we want to do, right? So I've cut out a lot of inflammatory foods. For me, carbs are inflammatory, and I mean not like the healthier carbs like fruit and the sugars that are found in there, but I've got a gluten sensitivity, so I don't do breads, and I love bread. I've cut out things like tortillas and all of those simple starches and carbohydrates that I was eating, and I've been doing mainly lean proteins and tons of vegetables. I eat eggs in the morning. I've talked about this before, that I have my little routines with my meals that make it super easy, and I love to chop my vegetables on Sundays and meal prep as much as I can for lunches, so we can do sheet pan meals with a lean protein and lots of veggies, and roast all that and then put it into a container, or even put it into individual containers for the week ahead. With my eggs in the morning, I love to throw in some vegetables, so I might chop up some peppers, some spinach, some onion, some mushrooms, just throw that in the pan, throw some eggs or egg whites in on that, and sprinkle a little bit of cheese with it, and it tastes amazing. I try to eat every 2.5 to 3. The hardest part for me was really, I wasn't eating enough. And, I consulted with a nutrition coach, and she's like, I said, I don't get hungry. I'm gaining weight. I eat 3 meals a day, but I don't get hungry. And she said, that's because you crapped out your metabolism, basically. You've got to eat more often than that. So I have started eating 6 times a day instead of 3. I have a snack as soon as I wake up. I eat my breakfast about 2 hours later. I have another snack between breakfast and lunch. Then I have a healthy lunch, which is usually a big salad with some lean protein on it, or one of my sheet pan meals that I've already prepped. And then I have another afternoon protein snack, like a hard-boiled egg or a Greek yogurt, a handful of nuts, string cheese. And then for dinner, again, I go back to the lean protein with the veggies and fill up most of my plate with like broccoli and a green salad, and then I'll have, you know, it's like some grilled salmon or a turkey burger or something like that with it. And then I get another snack before bed too. But throughout the day, my blood sugar does not go up and down. And I wish I had brought my blood work with me, because I would hold it up and show you right now. I was so excited. My insulin level was really, really low this time. And I had been to the point last year when I was on the medication that I was pre-diabetic. So eating this way has kept me from having those peaks and valleys in my blood sugar, and has really just kind of helped even everything out. And I think that cutting out a lot of those simple starches and carbs has had a lot to do with that too. So I've lost 5 pounds, which I'm really, really happy about. And I mean, it might not seem like a big deal, but it was around my belly. And I do my measurements every week, and I've lost about 7 inches overall, but most of it was straight up belly fat that came off. And so that's been the most exciting part, is like seeing those results. And we all know that visceral fat, that belly fat, that's the bad fat. That's the stuff that causes all of the health issues for us women. It causes them for men too, but that is one of the measurements that you're going to want to take. And a few weeks ago, I had a conversation with Heather McConaughey, who is a health coach, and she shared that with us as well. So definitely, if you're going to do any measurements at all, if you don't even want to step on a scale, that's fine. You don't have to if weight loss is not your goal. But if fat loss is your goal, then measure your belly fat for sure. All right, so in addition to my insulin and cholesterol levels being way down, my mind is clear on keto. I've also gained more muscle. I haven't had any flare-ups with IBS. Because I've cut out all of that gluten and all the stuff that was causing the gunky things to happen in my digestive system. I also have been drinking at least 80 to 100 ounces of water a day. And I know that's a lot. And I pee all the time. Not gonna lie, I'm in the bathroom constantly. But I feel so much better now that I'm drinking so much more water. It just flushes all the toxins out of our systems. It makes your skin glow. There's just so many health benefits of drinking water. So highly recommend that. So that is what I'm doing for my eating plan right now. I'm going to transition off of that. I'm going to start adding in, you know, the healthy carbs again. I'll be eating lots of fruit this summer. I'm still going to stay away from the starches for the most part, because they just don't make me feel good. But again, with your healthy eating, you've got to find what works best for you. With exercise, you know, I mentioned in the beginning of this live that I no longer punish my body through exercise. And let me explain that. I've talked to you all before about some of the body image stuff that I had going on for many years, and, you know, just messaging from my childhood. And this has really been a struggle for me. And that's why it's hard for me to talk about healthy eating and exercising, because I don't want to do this from the perspective of this is punishment and my body has to look like this, or I'm not going to be happy, because it's not about that for me anymore. I've gotten to a place now where it's about so much more. And I think getting really, really sick was the key to that. And I don't wish that upon anybody, but that's what made me step back and just truly appreciate what my body was capable of, and also honor it through diet and exercise in a way that could make me stay healthy and get healthier. And I'm not having flare-ups now like I was, you know, a year ago. It's been life-changing, and I feel so much better in so many ways. But I used to use exercise as a form of punishment for myself. I would go out and eat a really fattening meal, for lack of a better term. And then I'd say, oh, I'm going to burn this off on the treadmill tomorrow, or I'm going to work this off, or whatever. And I don't view it that way anymore. Now I see it as a way to celebrate my body and what it's capable of and what it can do. And whenever I push to a new goal, then that goal is a means of celebrating what I'm capable of, not a way of punishing myself. So I do HIIT workouts 3 times a week, high intensity interval training. I've done a lot of research into this, and HIIT workouts have so many benefits. One of them being that they lengthen our telomeres, which are a key to longevity and to their anti-aging. There's just so many benefits to that. But I've done a lot of research, and I know that there's a lot of conflicting stuff out there right now, but HIIT workouts work for me, and I really enjoy them. But if you're not into HIIT workouts, that's okay too. You do what you enjoy, what's going to work for you, what's sustainable for you, because that's what matters. I do Orange Theory 3 days a week. I've done it for the past 4 to 5 years. I love it. It's always different. It's always challenging. You can start at any level, any fitness level whatsoever. When I started, I was a walker on the treadmill. I was barely lifting any weights at all. And you can progress along with it, which is what I love. So it works for beginner exercisers all the way up to advanced, whatever your fitness level is. I love it because it's accountable. It has built-in accountability. They make it a little difficult to cancel your classes, which is good. That's a good thing because if they didn't, you'd just cancel, right? I would cancel on me. I know that. Half the battle is getting dressed to go work out and then driving there. But I've been doing Orange Theory workouts at home too, which has been amazing during the pandemic, having the flexibility and the freedom to be able to do that. I try to do a 30-minute full body weight workout per week in addition to Orange Theory. I just added this in 4 weeks ago because it's summer and I just felt like I wanted to add a little bit more muscle instead of just doing a lot of cardio, which Orange Theory has weightlifting in it as well. But my husband and I are like, hey, let's start doing weights together once a week. And it's kind of a way for us to bond together. And we do like a 30-minute weight session on Saturday mornings, and it's over like that. And I also do yoga and stretching once per week because all of this HIIT training and all of this weightlifting shortens your muscle fibers, and you got to do something to lengthen them. Otherwise, it's going to affect your flexibility, and we need more of that as we get older, not less. So I have been loving that too. Lifting weights also helps me feel more powerful, and it's one of the ways that I can help to balance out my proportions. As a pear shape, I tend to be like really small and lean on top, and then I get wider as I go down. So like I'm like 2 sizes smaller on top than on bottom. So if I lift weights and feel like, you know, I'm stronger and more powerful, then I'm able to kind of like balance my proportions a little bit more too, which makes me feel better in my clothes and makes a lot of my clothes fit better, especially dresses. So anyway, I do 3 HIIT workouts per week, 1 30-minute weight training session, which I just added in 4 weeks ago. And then I do yoga at least once per week too. And it just feels good. I love yoga. And it also makes my sore muscles feel amazing. All right. So again, the point is you have to find what works for you, what works for your body chemistry, and what is sustainable. No matter what, if you're not consistent with any of this, the eating, the exercising, any of it, it's just not going to work. That's it, period. Consistency is the key. You have to keep showing up. You have to put it in your schedule like any other appointment and stick to it. Even if, and especially if you're not feeling it. Here's a secret. You don't have to feel it to do it. I'm going to say it again for those in the back. You don't have to feel it to do it. I never feel it. I never walk into a gym or studio or anything and say, oh my gosh, I'm so fired up to work out today. I never wake up and say, I'm so fired up to work out today. As a matter of fact, some days I wake up and say, oh my gosh, I have to work out today. I don't want to work out today. But I do it anyway because you don't have to feel it to do it. And I'll tell you what, I've never once regretted a workout, and I bet you haven't either. Have you ever regretted a healthy meal? Nope. Have you ever regretted a workout? I doubt it. All right, so there you go. You don't have to feel it to do it. That's all I got for you today. I would love to hear from you. What works for you? Please share with me, share with my community, and let me know what you're doing as far as your healthy eating and your fitness is concerned this summer. And keep us all motivated. Thanks for tuning in.